This week, both the Projo and the Newport Daily News provided words on the subject of legalized pot. Now, I don't have a lot of background in pot, so I thought I would get smart. I did know that we in my hometown of Portsmouth have a licensed medical marijuana compassion center, one of the few in Rhode Island. Haven't visited there yet, but you never know. The list of approved health conditions that a little pot will help seems to be growing by the minute. Just need a doctor's prescription. A real MD, of course, not your cousin. The issue of substance abuse will not be going away anytime soon, as we good citizens on the planet Earth have long sought a way to control the stresses of life. We have come up with some unique solutions. One of them is the discovery that some plants which grow in the wild have narcotic effects. That is, they may affect our bodies in ways that make us happy or at least not as sad as we might otherwise be. At some point in time, government stepped in and decided which of these substances would be legal and which would tend to land you in jail. Today, the hot topic is pot, which I have recently found out comes in a whole variety of ingestible versions. The pot world has its own vocabulary, most I have never heard of or seen in print. And that vocabulary grows every year as new varieties of weed hit the market. But there's another show. Today, we are focusing on what the Rhode Island legislature should be thinking about as the world of pot overwhelms the state. The most immediate issue is the possibility that Massachusetts voters could vote on legislation in November. That really is a huge issue. If Massachusetts gave Rhode Islanders another reason to cross the border, we will definitely need toll gates at every exit road. Why the concern? Well, pot is legal for medical and recreational use in D.C. and 23 other states. 4 of these states fully legalized use. If you visit Colorado, Washington, Alaska, or Oregon, you can smoke and joke legally. Now, I did lots of reading on the results of first Oregon and then Washington state going to pot. The news of what people do when they live in border states are always interesting from an economic point of view. When one state goes to pot, the other must follow, or bunches of money leave the potless state. Much of the same argument as the gas tax differential with Massachusetts. Now, I did some research on what's been happening in Colorado since they voted for pot. Colorado legalized pot in 2012, voting 54.8 to 45.1 to light up. 90% of those voters surveyed by the Denver Post in 2014 would vote the same way they did in 2012. Seems that in 2014, the Colorado medical and recreational shops sold $669 million of product. Now that number went to $996 million in 2015. That meant that in 2014, the state got $76 million in taxes and licensing fees. In 2015, they got $135 million. The good folks in Colorado tax recreational marijuana in 3 ways. The first is the standard 2.9 sales tax, a 10% special marijuana sales tax, and a 15% excise tax on wholesale transfers. Getting the pot legalized, Amendment 64, through the voting booth was helped by requiring the first $40 million raised from the excise tax to be put immediately into school construction fund. Not the general state fund like we would tend to do here in Rhode Island. So we are talking about serious money. I know so little about pot, I had to find a website that's all pot. And like all things in America, there are hundreds of places to go to get up to speed with pot. I chose The Cannabist. This is the site of all sites. I would like to quote Jake Brown from the Cannabis staff reviewing the pot strain of the day in 2014. That strain would be Blue Dream. Now, see if you can make sense of his words. It would be easy to mistake this, Blue Dream, for straight blueberry in a blind smell test, with the sweet fruit notes emanating from the bag. And there's a lingering pine spice that I really enjoy hidden under there. The hairs are trademark haze. However, they're almost a light peach hue and incredibly abundant. Combine that with a generous amount of trichome coverage and it's reminiscent of a first frost, unquote. You know, I think pot speak is almost as evasive as wine tasting speak. Thank you for watching, and God bless.